We all know that social media in the last few years has been turning into a vortex constantly spiraling down into the darkest abyss. Yet in the last few days, chaos and havoc are the only words that I can use to describe what we are witnessing. Now, among the many different things that people have been saying in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I noticed that people have been speaking and arguing about how we should feel when it comes to the parents of the murderer. And by the way, I'm not going to say his name ever again, because I would like to forget him. He's irrelevant. The one name I'm not gonna forget is Charlie Kirk. Normally I would show the actual pictures, but in this case I'm using specifically the pictures that are blurry and don't clearly show his face, because once again I would like to send both his face and name into complete oblivion. However, we do know that the one person who turned him in is indeed his own father, through, I believe, another relative. Some of the people on social media did say that they don't feel bad for the parents because they blame them for raising a disgusting murderer. Now, I agree with you. He is a disgusting murderer. With that being said, I am not going to blame the parents until I have solid proof that it was indeed their fault. Could it have been their fault? Absolutely. But I don't know if this is the case. And if they were completely innocent and did nothing wrong, and this just happened to their son as an adult, regardless of possibly a good upbringing, then no, it's not their fault, at least for me. And due to the fact that I don't have enough data in order for me to know which of the case it would be, I'm not ready to judge. Plus, we do know that universities have become breeding grounds for political indoctrination. This is something I've been condemning for years, and I am preparing a dedicated video to expose this once again in light of what has happened to Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know how much time he spent at university. That's something that I couldn't double check, because of course people right now are trying to claim stuff not because it's real, but simply because it benefits their position, therefore making it harder for us who are interested in real facts and truth to sift through the nonsense. So, in this case, it doesn't matter whether it be a semester or whether it be a full attendance. If he was in the class of the wrong professor, meaning those frauds that have betrayed their title in order to do political activism, then it is possible that that was an initial introduction. To that, add online groups, Discord servers, and the radicalization begins. This is why it is crucial that we expose every single fraud professor who uses their titles to brainwash our kids, regardless of the monetary sacrifices of the families that send them there to gain an education, to learn how to think, not to be told what to think. However you want to see it, and however you wish to slice it, I am not prepared to blame his parents. And in fact, if anything, what they did is an act of courage and justice. The father and family could have tried to hide their son, but they did not, and that was the right call. Why was it the right call? Well, because someone who did it once was probably going to do it again. And so turning in your own son is in fact an act of love for the children of other people. Because remember, before someone becomes a political martyr, before someone becomes a victim of political violence, they are someone's father, they're someone's son, they're someone's daughter, they're someone's mum, brother, sister, friend. This in fact connects to a broader spectrum and a larger topic. We need to only blame and condemn the people we know for sure are being evil in this debacle. I've seen too many people jumping into conclusions even without evidence, saying, well, you're saying this, but I think you mean that. No, we don't know that. Let's focus on the people who are being evil, who are laughing, who are celebrating, and the people they're full mask off. That gives us the justice to condemn them publicly. But if someone is condemning this horrible thing that happened, or if someone may have been involved, like the parents, but we don't know, we need to do research and we need to find enough evidence before we do our condemnation. It's not easy because emotions get involved, but channel those emotions in a way that is still just and true. Among the various nonsensical takes that we have had the displeasure of witnessing the last few days, one that has made me cringe particularly hard is the blaming the shooter's intention onto the video game space. Man, you're grasping at straws. I'm gonna debunk this one into high heaven in a second. But before I do that, I would like to make this statement. There is no question that this was a politically motivated assassination. Anything else surrounding this statement of truth is a cop-out and an attempt at gaslighting. Not on our watch. To those who claim that video games are the reason why this shooting happened, let me stop you right there. No, It's not video game. I get it that the shooter had a reference to a video game. I believe it was Helldivers on one of his magazines. A game I'm not familiar with, I'll be honest with you. But no, video games do not cause violence. We have gone over this. Plenty of studies have been done on this matter. No correlation. The simple fact that a man in his 20s in today's society may have known or enjoyed gaming, which is something he has in common with the majority of human males on the planet, by the way, if you really want to talk statistics and numbers, has no causal link to his actions. And besides, the same people that say, oh, video games cause violence, after they say that, they're going to go watch Rambo on the TV with their kids. No, seriously, think about it. A lot of the people who say that video games cause violence because of the images and the war and combat that often is shown in video games have zero problems watching a war movie or a horror movie. Apart from the obvious fact that no one who's playing a game like Skyrim starts to magically feeling an urge to take a sword to a supermarket to commit a mass crime, people that speak about video games like this are people who have never played a video game in their life, because if they did, they would notice two major factors. Factor number one, the vast majority of video games, with very few exceptions, are based on the concept of you are the good guys, you fight against evil. Of course, there are exceptions to this, GTA being an example, but that's why we have a rating system, so that the too young shouldn't be allowed to play such products. And even then, in a game like GTA, it's comical. Not justifying necessarily, I wouldn't have a child play it, but still. However, the second thing that I would like to bring up is probably my strongest counter-argument to this nonsense. First and foremost, it appears to be mental illness that is often the starting condition of violent crime. But as I was saying, in this case, it is absolutely a problem of political radicalization. See, politics have been radicalizing people since my guess is going to be the Stone Age. However, technology has indeed played a major role in how people can now be radicalized through constant extreme propaganda. However, the main difference is that games are fantasy, but political manipulation is real. In games, you fight imaginary monsters. Extreme politics tells you that your neighbors, and in this case, fellow Americans, are the real monsters. Radical politics is the problem, not a person playing Call of Duty. The reality is that there are a lot of interested parties in this day and age that do not want you to know the truth, that will not tell it how it is, that will hide and manipulate information for their benefit. And this is just one of many pathetic attempts at preventing you from knowing the truth that you are entitled to receive as a citizen, as a person, as an individual, as a fellow human being. Moreover, video games is a hobby, and one characteristic of hobbies is that they unite people, or at least that's how they were designed to be. Gaming in its essence is a way to get people together, to have fun, and enjoy something that they love, regardless of whether they agree politically, whether they agree religiously, whether they come from different backgrounds. Given we know that in the last few years, some video games have become platforms for political indoctrination, which is something that I've been calling out for a very long time. Yet, even I am going to say that it's not those video games that have indoctrinated people into deciding to go and off someone they disagree with. It is the extreme politics, and oftentimes, it's the kind of teachings that we allow in our universities, fraud professors, to teach our kids. But I'm going to make a dedicated video to that very soon, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth. Proudly presenting the pendant of the Noble One. Look at this beauty. Original custom design created by me in collaboration with Viking Jewelry. And it's my way to celebrate all of you, because as you know, I've been calling you Noble Ones for the last 12 years. Well, this is indeed the pendant of you, the Noble Ones, who are the Custos Veritatis, written here in Latin, and it means keeper of truth, because that's the only thing that matters. the truth, whether it offends them or not. So, available in both silver and bronze. I think my favorite is the bronze one, but they're both great. And this can be bought as a set, as we offer the original Ring of the Noble One, available in silver, bronze, and gold, the bracelet of the Noble One, Silent Oath of Truth, and a more low-profile version of the ring for those who prefer something a little thinner, which we offer also in bronze, silver, 14-karat gold, and 18-karat gold. Use the code NOBLE1 for a 15% discount at checkout, and massive thanks to each and every single one of you, and thank you to my haters for supporting my work.